What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Slackercast. I'm Greg. With me today is Lawrence. Drinking that Captain Morgan's and Coke. I'm liking it. Oh, yeah. Mr. Sex Appeal himself, Dustin.
Hey.
And that sweet doom, Jonathan C.
Hey.
Yeah, me too. I was like,
I just realized that I have a Saint shirt on, and then I have a Patriots jersey in the background.
all right.
Conflict of interest.
You absolute traitor.
No, he's joining his roots, man. He's adopted.
Why are you wearing a Saints shirt?
I bought this shirt when I went to a Saints game for a beer thing, and then it's kind of like a wear around the house shirt, and I just happened to be wearing it, and I didn't realize it till just now.
What's up, Dying Breed and Big T?
Yeah, what's up, Big T?
Hey.
What's up, sir?
Even in the chat before we get here.
Yeah.
So tonight, guys, we are going to be spending almost the whole episode talking about WrestleMania. Because
finally, sorry.
I will say I was kind of shocked by WrestleMania this year. You know, I've not really been the biggest fan of WWE lately, and this show shocked me because I actually really enjoyed it.
Now, let me ask you though: did you enjoy it because of all the throwback stuff and all the cheap pops that they put in there?
That definitely helped, but I will
Right.
say, like, most of the time, if I don't enjoy a WrestleMania, I find myself skipping a lot. Like, I'll get bored and then start skipping, because I always watch it after the fact, because I always have to work on that Sunday. So I didn't skip a whole lot this time. Like, I actually watched most of the matches and took up like almost my whole day yesterday and most of the day today.
Well, Greg, we'll talk about the weakest parts was the opening. And what they do with Shinsuke Nakamura, I always disagree with, man.
Oh, don't worry, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
I got that on my list. That was later on though, right? Yeah, that was the Usos. That's how it opened up, right? Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and what's this guy's name? Rick Boogs.
Yeah.
I had no idea who this
Boogs?
guy was. It's Boogs, I think. Rick Boogs.
I don't know where these guys came from.
Is he like a jobber? Was he like one of them local guys?
He looks like Dan Severn's son.
Oh shit!
It's funny because when you said the name, it felt like that's probably what he looks like.
He's got the Dan Severn mustache. He's got the Dan Severn haircut. I mean, and he wears
40-year-old's gonna get that.
And he wears like the onesie. He wrestles in the onesie, and he's kind of a big, bulky guy. So,
Okay.
what's up, Ben?
Definitely.
We're just talking about WrestleMania, Ben. How I actually liked it more than I thought I would this year. What do you think about? All right, so we're gonna do night one first, Lawrence. Dustin, you said you mostly watched highlights.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the highlights of almost everything. So,
And Jonathan, basically, since you didn't see it and you're not really big into the wrestling anymore, you can just kind of ask questions based on what we comment here. And
I know the old people.
feel free to make fun as much as you want.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm good at that.
Go ahead, Greg. What are you gonna get into?
So like,
first?
so like on this Usos match, like that Rick Boogs guy got injured, like
Yes, in the middle
within,
of the
like,
match.
5 minutes of the
And
match.
it
Yeah.
fucked
I saw
up
that.
everything.
He tore his ACL, didn't he?
I know they had to
that.
actually, like, whatever he did, they actually had to carry him out there.
That was real. I don't think that was.
I'll tell you, Ben, nothing's wrong with looking like Dan Severn. Nothing at all. If you can pull off a mustache like that, you're a real man.
He's a man.
Yeah, he used to.
No, like so it was basically Shinsuke against the Usos by himself, and
Was he really scheduled to lose, or was he gonna win? What was the?
I honestly don't. I think the Usos were going to win regardless. But
Yeah, I think they had an improv, but they would have won.
how do you like that Shinsuke entrance? Though that was pretty good.
I love all Shinsuke's entrances, man. He doesn't. Everything about Shinsuke is great. He's just misused by WWE. They always do that. They always do that. They have a good star, and they fucking bury him or do something dumb with him.
Yeah. So why do they bury him like that? I mean, being on the opening match of night one on Wrestle.
Well, I'm going to tell you why, Dustin. It's because Vince McMahon hates Asians. That's what it boils down to.
Okay.
I mean,
you heard it here first.
it could be. It could be.
I mean, have you ever had? Has there ever been an Asian world champion other than Yokozuna? Yokozuna doesn't count because he was actually Samoan.
He was part of the Samoan family. It doesn't count.
So,
and I don't know why. I don't know why.
I can't recall if anyone in the chat knows. Like, has there ever been an Asian world champion?
Oh wow! Big T says Vince McMahon hates anyone of any sort of race that isn't pure USA.
That's probably true, actually.
But Shinsuke was great in NXT. That's the thing, Ben. Is like in NXT, everyone was great, dude. Nikki Cross was great. Everyone was great, and then they come to the WWE and they suck. Bobby Roode was great, and he finds a way to.
Oh yeah, that was actually Bobby Roode's best stuff ever.
Was NXT
was in NXT, yeah, but. That's true. Big T said if anybody told Vince that The Rock was half black, he might just fall over. Yeah.
What?
What? All these years?
I mean, he had to know his dad was in the WWE.
He probably didn't know his dad was black.
But yeah, so the Usos won that match. That match was just kind of okay. I'm not big on the tag division in WWE because I feel like if you're not one of the teams like the Usos, it doesn't really mean anything. I don't think Ricky the Dragon Steamboat ever had the world title though, Ben. So
in WWF,
I think he was only ever Intercontinental. WCW,
not in WWF. In
WWF, that's not Vince.
Who was the Asian guy in the Attitude Era? I can't remember his name. I remember playing in the games. I can't remember his name.
AKI Man or Aki Man? He's not real.
Stop bringing up people from.
Don't say dumb shit. Fuck, what's his name?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go look now.
It'll come to you in a minute. But next up, we had McIntyre versus Happy Corbin.
Hold on, Ricky the Steamboat was okay. Never mind. He was the Intercontinental.
Yeah, he never won the world title. I grew up in that era.
Weird. Dude, if you Google this shit, there's a whole there's even a theory about that we were just talking about. Is WWE prejudiced against Asians?
I think so, man. Come to think of it, because you're right. Every other body has had a chance. Even black people had a chance.
Well, I'll say this. Maybe.
Wait, didn't the Great Khali have a title? Didn't he win the title?
No. I almost said something, but I decided not to. All right, let's move on. McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Did you give a shit about that match, Lawrence? Because I didn't. And I like Drew McIntyre.
I heard nothing about it.
No.
Yeah, I like Drew McIntyre, but McIntyre went over Happy Corbin. I don't know what they're really doing with that. Happy Corbin's got this weird-looking guy with him.
Tajiri.
But then we move on to a match that I actually enjoyed more than I thought it would. It was The Miz and Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio.
That was weird, but I did like
it.
Okay, so
Dominic
I have
Mysterio.
I have a lot of, because I actually kind of watched this match. So
okay.
So Logan Paul, like, I don't know if he just like really brushed up on his wrestling before he got in there, but he looked really good.
I'm going to say something.
That's never been in a ring.
I'm going to say something about this guy. I haven't been the biggest fan of this guy because he just seemed like the typical douchebag, but like,
I mean, he is, but
the more I see of him, the more I'm kind of liking him, at least as an entertainer. Maybe not as a person, but as an entertainer, he seems to
Logan Paul
draw into people. Yeah,
I was like impressed with how good his wrestling was.
It wasn't bad. He did good.
He looked like, just for someone that has never wrestled before, he was. And I liked his little gear. I liked his gear too. His entrance was cool. Like, I can't hate the guy.
This is, you know what I love though, because I've always been a Miz mark, Dustin. You know this. So the Miz and Logan Paul pull off a upset on Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, and then he's raising Logan Paul's hand. And what happens out of nowhere? Skull-crushing finale on Logan Paul. I'm like, yes, this is the Miz I like. Don't trust this motherfucker. at all.
How old is The Miz now, dude? He's been in there for so long.
I don't think he ages. He looks the same
Right,
as
he looks
did.
the same as he fucking
It's funny
did.
because he
15
looks
years
the
ago.
same as he did on The Real World. You know, he started out on The Real World. I used to watch that show as a kid. I remember when he was like into wrestling and like independent stuff, and then he made it to WWE, and it's still weird seeing
I like
him.
The Miz, and I think he's so great as a heel. I think he's one of the most underrated heels
What's up,
ever,
Jamie?
actually.
It's good having you chat.
But the reason I love The Miz is because he has such a punchable face, man.
Oh,
Like,
man.
and that's what makes him such a good heel. Is he has such a punchable face.
My dream match is The Miz.
A big fucking horse smile.
Yeah, dude, my dream match is The Miz and MJF someday. I don't know how they'll do it. Just meeting up somehow and just having a promo together.
Well, I
Just a
mean,
promo, not even
MJF
a-
is The Miz, just in AEW.
Technically, he is. They both have the most punchable faces on. Like,
I think the MJF's a better heel though.
I don't know, man. The Miz
I
has
don't
done some
know.
pretty good shit.
Miz's golden era stuff was fire, man. The Miz is untouchable, like in his prime. I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't really checked out WWE recently, but
Well, The Miz is a company, man. He'll do whatever the fucking company needs him to do.
It was Tajiri, by the way.
Tajiri. Oh yeah. He never won the world title. Yeah. He never.
I was just asking who it was.
I don't think he was even allowed to be in the same room with the world title. Honestly,
he had cruiserweight 3 times, USA title. And 2
right there,
team.
Ben. That's it. When I raise my hand, you shut your mouth.
So is Logan Paul like done now, or is he going to wrestle again?
I guess that really depends on him, how much he liked it.
Dude.
He's doing side quests.
Yeah.
Doing side quests.
What does Logan Paul not do? He boxes.
Yeah,
he
for
wrestles,
real.
He fucking YouTubes. Damn.
No, I mean,
Does he sleep? Does this motherfucker sleep?
He's always been like that kind of guy. So
he's a modern day Renaissance.
Oh yeah,
man.
there we go. Jinder Mahal. I guess he qualifies.
Jinder Mahal is Asian. He's Indian. Yep.
So,
Indians are Asians.
Maybe that's why it was such a big deal when he won the title. Not just because he was a jobber, but because he's Asian.
Because he was a jobber. He was jacked. No one out-dieted him, Greg.
I actually liked when he said that during the interviews. I found it kind of funny.
Well, there's like a ranking of the most successful Asian WWE superstars, and Asuka is the number one on that list.
They definitely did her right, and well, that's because Triple H was in love with her, though. He just wouldn't admit it.
Speaking of Triple H,
well, we'll get to that whenever we go to night 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So next up, did you like the finish of the Miz Logan Paul thing, Lawrence?
Yeah,
it was good. I didn't have any problems with it.
Dan says that Logan Paul has more dates on his deal.
Next up, we had Bianca Bel Air versus Becky Lynch for the
that was a big
the Raw
deal.
World's Championship.
I'll start off by saying this: WWE has been on.
Or was it the
SportsCenter.
SmackDown? I think that was a SmackDown Championship.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is like they've been on SportsCenter, like advertising this shit. And does AEW at all like advertise on SportsCenter? Like WWE is everywhere, bro.
Well, first I want to ask you, how do you like Becky's new hair?
I like it.
I did too. I was a fan.
Becky Lynch is hot no matter what she does.
Is it cut? Did she cut it short?
Yeah, it looks kind of 80s now. It's kind of got that like straight, kind of short, like a little bit past the shoulders.
Like
80s
look,
you know, that fire red hair.
I gotta look because I simp for her because she's a redhead.
As you
No,
should.
Becky Lynch is like gold.
Yeah, I'll try to pull a picture up real quick. But that match,
picture.
That match, when it started off at first,
to me, it was.
I didn't care for it. I'll say that. Like at first, I almost fast forwarded through it.
No, it was a good match, Greg.
It's not terrible.
Yeah, and you got to think.
You found it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
WWE has a deal with ESPN.
But
I did not know that.
The reason I didn't like the start of the match was because here we go. I like this one. Well, I'll share this picture.
And Ben Grimm says Bianca Bel Air cut it in a belt. Yeah, there was a big thing where she cut her hair.
Yeah, she cut Becky Lynch's hair, and then that's the reason with the new hairstyle. But I'll show what it looks like here real quick.
No, she looks like, dude, she's stunning. Even with the haircut,
that's the new hair. Not a big fan of that makeup, but yeah, it's.
Well, this is a throwback to Blade Runner, like one of the characters in Blade Runner.
I don't hate it, but
it's very 80s though.
I like it.
You would still simp for her, Dustin.
Yeah, I would. I have my own redhead at home though. So.
But no, like that match started off kind of bland to me because it kept doing. They took that like like them rolling each other up, trying to get a quick fall, like way too long. Like they just kept doing it for too long, and I was getting bored with it. It's kind of like when New Japan does like a Minoru Suzuki thing where they forearm each other for 30 minutes and then the match starts.
Well, I'll say this: the payoff was worth it, man. This was building up for like months, weeks, months, man. With Bianca Belair, she had got beaten. Remember that 15 seconds, the whole thing?
Yeah, SummerSlam. Becky made her come back and beat her in like a few seconds. Like it didn't take long at all.
How long do you think she keeps the belt, though? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Because
they seem to like Bianca, so I mean, she might keep it for a little while. A lot of people like
Bianca, yeah.
She's good. I mean, she's really good. So she's one of the few standouts amongst Becky, Charlotte, and the ones that Rhea and the ones that actually matter. So. Then you got all the others.
Sasha Banks.
Can't hear you. She had a match on the second night that I didn't give a shit about, but we'll get into that later. But Bianca defeated Becky, got the title back, redeemed her loss, and she did a promo on Raw, like a pretty long promo on Raw that I mostly skipped. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so next up, we got Seth Rollins versus a mystery opponent.
I want to talk about this.
We all knew we already.
Oh yeah, we all knew who it was going to be.
All right,
and then that music hit, and the fucking crowd went crazy.
I'll say this, dude. Fuck Cody Rhodes for this, dude. This sucks, man.
Why?
Yo, how are you going to start AEW as a company to beat WWE, compete with WWE, and then join them on WrestleMania? It would be different if he did this on a random episode of Raw or SmackDown, but he did this on fucking WrestleMania.
Let me ask you this, though, Lawrence.
He was sending a message.
Let me ask you this. When he came out, you saw him rise up and he started walking down to the ring. Didn't it feel right? Like, didn't that feel way more right than any of his shit he did in AEW? It just felt right.
Feel right. He's a WWE guy. I don't care what anyone says. He belongs in WWE. No, that's what I meant to say. He's a WWE guy, not an AEW guy. He was booed into AEW because he was a WWE guy, and everyone knew that. Everything he does, like something about him is WWE, like a WWE superstar. And when he came back, it felt right, but at the same time, like, damn, dude, you really did that today.
Yeah, that's actually what I was saying, Ben. He always felt more WWE. Even everything he did in AEW looked like a WWE guy over there doing WWE stuff in another company. So, that's right, Big T. He is now a superstar. He's not a wrestler.
Superstar.
Yeah. I think it was an asshole move, but I understand where he's coming from because he fits in WWE. But come on, man. He had to do that on WrestleMania, and it's like he was.
And honestly, maybe he helped build that company, and maybe it was time for him to go back to WWE now. He kind of I wouldn't say wore out his welcome, but he did what he came there to do, and now it's time to go back.
Dustin,
to WWE.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. It's like AEW was built as a way to counter WWE. To be like a wrestling that was for the fans, that wasn't a company kind of thing, that was listening to the fans and what they wanted. And like him going back there makes it to where Vince McMahon was right when he said that AEW is not competition. That's the whole thing. Is AEW competition for WWE or is it not? And Greg,
I have a theory. Would you like to hear my theory?
Go ahead.
I think him and Tony Khan ended up getting beef. Because Cody was always wanting to go off and do all this extracurricular shit, star in heels, TV shows, star in his own little TV show on the side. He's wanting to go out there and do all this extra shit that was unrelated to AEW. So he would be away for periods at a time doing stuff like that. And maybe that kind of pissed Tony Khan off because Tony Khan is just a wrestling fan, man. It's like It's like a fanboy being able to run his own company. So, I mean, that may be why he didn't want to pay him what Cody wanted, and the reason why he left the company to begin with.
We always asked. We asked before, and when Corey was here with us, we said, who would be the first one from AEW to defect and go to WWE? And it was fucking Cody Rhodes.
That's true.
Fuck.
Who would have thought it'd be Cody, though? Really? I mean,
that's the executive president of AEW, the guy who built this, and he goes over to WWE on WrestleMania. He was sending a message saying "fuck AEW," and he was WWE. He was just saying he was done with them.
The thing is, AEW needs to tighten up a little bit on their storylines and the way that. I mean, I love the way they use their talent. I love that they. I love the wrestling. It's very like old school, but they gotta button up and be more. They gotta stop all that. Letting the fans and the superstars drive all the storylines.
Dan makes a good point here. Tony Khan is mostly taken over the booking in AEW, and that's a problem because what you need is somebody who knows the business and has been in the business a long time doing your booking. You don't need a fanboy doing it because a fanboy is going to put together matches that don't fucking make sense and not build storylines because they're all about just, hey, let's put this guy against this guy. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? It's
right. No, and that's where I get confused and start to lose interest sometimes in AEW is that I can't follow the storylines. There's nothing that makes me go, shit, I gotta watch next week and find out what happens here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the build is weird. Like the way they build stuff is weird. A lot of it is like short builds.
Big T, you're right. They need to focus on the roster they have. You're right.
But I see what you're saying, Dustin. Like, yeah, they need to put all the pieces together better instead of just like throwing them out there.
I think they got a big head when they were like starting to eat up on WWE's ratings and stuff. But if they don't tighten up, it's gonna end up WWE's gonna do what they do best and end up fucking buying AEW.
Right.
Yeah, buying. That's what's gonna happen.
You know what's funny is everybody thinks that
they're burying them.
Yeah, everybody thinks that AEW may eventually buy WWE, but what if it was the other way around? What if WWE buys AEW? Buys out the competition again?
No.
Didn't you see that? Didn't you see that Twitter list of all the guys that's released? Just
oh man,
denied.
But the next up we had Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey.
Ooh.
You know what? I didn't enjoy this match at all. I love Charlotte Flair. I think she's amazing. But like we've already seen this before.
There was another attempt to cheap pop by WWE.
It's like, hey, let's bring back Ronda, But I didn't care, man.
Was she even that well liked in WWE? Like as for like with the fans?
She was getting pretty big pops her first run, but like the comeback this time, man, it's like I was listening to Cornette's podcast, and it was like he was saying, man, like the reason she was so successful the first time is because they played in on that baddest bitch on the planet stuff. This time, man, she's still supposed to be the baddest bitch on the planet, but she's going out there and smiling and all this other stuff, and she doesn't even have like her killer game face on or anything. She's just all smiles and laughs. And
what's with the black circles around her eyes? It's like she having trouble sleeping.
It could be. I mean, she does have a kid now. So.
Oh, fair enough.
Everyone's having kids now. Becky Lynch has a kid now. Except she has a kid. I'm fine with that.
But
totally
bitches.
Charlotte redeemed herself, and she ended up defeating Ronda. So, I think it was just with a roll up though, because like Ronda had her in an arm bar, and then like she got a roll up and beat her like with a roll up. So maybe there's more to come on that storyline. I don't really know. But then we get to the main event of night one, which fucking made everyone lose their minds.
Go ahead.
The return of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wrestled.
At first he was supposed to be But yeah, at first he was supposed to be just a guest on the KO show. Nobody expected this guy to wrestle. I sure as fuck didn't.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's gonna go out there and give him a fucking stunner and drink a couple beers, and everybody will be like, "Oh my god, Stone Cold was in the ring!" Arr!
But like, so then they have a match, and at this point, I am in full marking out mode, dude. I'm sitting there watching. I got the biggest grin on my face, man. I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe this is happening again.
Right.
The nostalgia was just, just shooting out my fucking head.
My god, man. 19 years we ain't seen this guy in the ring.
And that's why they did it.
And this is the thing. Like, at first, he looked a little stiff, for a guy who hadn't done it in 19 years. But then, like, it seemed to come back to him really fast. Like, it seems like he loosened up really fast. And then you're like, oh, shit, Stone Cold's back.
And Kevin Owens did a good job of carrying him.
Yeah, definitely did. Kevin Owens did a great job carrying him through it. And
yeah, he deserves something.
And Dustin, you always said that, when Stone Cold would do his little beer drinking thing, like more went out his mouth than in. Well, I was noticing, like, throughout the whole match, he kept going and grabbing beers and getting beers, but like he was spitting all that shit out. He put it in his mouth and just.
It's probably a diabetes or something.
It always slows down that beer.
I mean, even I've done the Stone Cold beer thing many, many, many times. And I can tell you, most of the beer, even if you're trying to drink the beer, most of it doesn't go in your mouth.
But I did notice, like, towards the end, like, he was doing it so much. I guess some of that shit was actually getting in there because you could tell he started to get a little tipsy from it.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, the ring rust, I thought it would be a bigger issue, but
I'll say this, dude. It was bittersweet because it's like, on the one hand, it's great seeing Stone Cold, man. He was the WWF. He was the WWE for that generation. He was the face, man. And like seeing him here, though, you did see some of the he's old, man. Like when he tried to do some stuff.
He did look older. I mean, yeah, but it was still good to see, man.
Like, there was some. It was still good to see him, man, and it just hurt because like it's not gonna last. Like he's old. He's past.
Well, I don't know, man. I was talking with Corey about this earlier, and if they paid him what he was rumored to get for this match, that he might come back for a Saudi Arabia thing. You know how much he was rumored to get for just this one thing, right? $3 million.
Jeez.
Well, he still works kind of for WWE, doesn't he? Like doesn't he do like a podcast or whatever?
Yeah, but I don't think they're paying him like super big for that. Probably not that much. Definitely not $3 million.
Did it feel a little cheap though, with them like bringing him back? Like it was like something they did out of desperation.
Oh, dude, they're grasping straws now.
They're grasping.
They're like, fuck. Yes. They're like, we got to do something. We need something. Stone Cold. We got to bring him back.
What's weird is like, isn't he the same age as The Rock? And Rock isn't like that. But
Stone Cold had a lot worse injuries.
So Lawrence, I'm going to say something that you may actually have a problem with and debate.
Go ahead.
Seeing him come back and seeing that big pop, I'm going to say I think Stone Cold was bigger than The Rock. I think he was.
No, I will agree with you. Stone Cold, and it's hard for me to say as a fucking Rock mark, man. But Stone Cold's, he was the WWF. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was the WWE.
Like, if you take him out of the Attitude Era is not what it was.
He made The Rock The Rock. And anyone who says otherwise is lying to themselves. Like, I love The Rock. I love The Rock. But at the same time, I can't deny how big of an impact Stone Cold was. Dude.
I also think like maybe that he's not bigger than The Rock, but the fact that, The Rock has come back and done stuff a lot more often. I mean, like you said, it's been 19 fucking years. Right. Nobody ever thought they'd see Stone Cold in the ring again.
Ever again.
They fucking convinced this man to go out and do a real fucking wrestling match.
I gotta agree with Corey here. The last thing I would want to see is Austin versus Lesnar.
Corey, what's up, dude? S'mores and doors.
I think that'd be a bucket list thing for Steve Austin and Lesnar, because they were, that's the reason why Stone Cold left WWE that first time was because they were trying to make him job for Brock, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that."
No,
shit.
he was trying. He said that it had to be on pay-per-view. He didn't want it to be on a regular Raw.
Yeah, there was no build. They didn't build. They weren't going to build it. They were just going to basically. He was going to fight Brock one time, and Brock was going to beat him, and he was like, "Fuck no."
Yeah, make sure to cover that shit, Dustin.
But he said but Stone Cold's always said that was, he regrets not being able to fight Brock. So,
all right, well, I marked out so big for night 1 that night 2 kind of felt lackluster to me just because of that. I mean, honestly, they should have saved that Stone Cold shit for night 2, in my opinion, but I guess not at the same time. How else would you have ended
really
night
they
1?
should have.
I mean, they did bring Stone Cold back for night 2, so.
All right, so night 2 starts with Triple H coming out to the ring. Gives a little speech. And
talk about this.
Starts to tear jerk me a little bit because he leaves his boots in the ring. I mean, I already knew he had retired because I saw the interview, but like actually seeing him leave the boots in the ring and get emotional, I was like, "Fuck, man!" I was like,
dude, you have to understand what that means. That means that's it, dude. Attitude Era. Who's left from the Attitude Era? Like that's
you got Edge, I
wrestling.
guess. You got
Edge, but
now
bro,
Triple H hasn't wrestled in a while though, right? Like he's pretty much been a behind the scenes guy for.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple years back he was at WrestleMania. I think he was still wrestling, so like it hasn't been that long since he's been in the ring. But I mean, fuck, if he's got a defibrillator now in his heart, it's you got to hang it up.
It's over, dude. Dustin, this means that it's over. Like
I'm saying though, it's kind of been over.
It's been over. We're used to it.
Like,
but it's sad because like Triple H was, like we said, Austin was the face of the Attitude Era, right? Triple H is the other side of the coin.
He was the heel. He was the heel.
He's not just the heel of the Attitude Era. He's the fucking heel.
He might be the GOAT heel, man.
He's the greatest heel ever. Who's better than fucking Triple H?
Dude, as much as I like Ric Flair, Triple H is the heel. I hated that fucking dude.
Look, dude, Triple H's heel shit goes back to when my mother was still alive 20 years ago, man. She hated his fucking guts. Like, she could not stand Triple H, man. Like, he would come on screen and it, like, made her want to vomit. Yes. That's how much she hated this guy.
Bro, I hated his fucking toy. Like, when I was a kid, I fucking hated his toy. Why did I get this?
He's never really been a face. I mean, I know he's had like some short face runs, but for the most
when he
part,
came back from that quad injury, he got a pretty big pop. But
he was a face for like a second, and then
he was so good at being a heel, man.
Oh yeah,
he's the guy. Chat, what do you think? Is fucking Triple H the GOAT heel or not? Like, who's a better heel than Triple H?
It's hard to top him. I gotta say. The only thing you could really throw out there is maybe being better is Ric Flair.
Maybe those two are like this.
I don't know though, because
me too, damn.
I just think Triple H has done it better. Ric Flair's and Triple H has done it in so many different like eras and different characters. Like when he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley and he had that fucking dumb ponytail.
So let me ask you this.
Here's the thing. Go ahead, Greg. Go.
I want to ask everyone here this. When you see a sledgehammer now, do you think a Triple H?
Every time. I always that's all I think of when I see a sledgehammer.
That's the first thing that comes to mind when I see one.
The pedigree. Triple H. But here's the thing:
how many men's heads has he had in that crotch?
Yeah.
Yes. No, the crazy thing is like with Triple H, bro. Like Ric Flair, even when he was heel, I didn't hate him. You know what I'm saying? I still like Ric Flair. Triple H, I literally hated that fucking man. I want to go to his house and fucking shoot him. Like I hated Triple H.
He was one of my favorite wrestlers. He's probably like in my top 3 of. Because I like the bad guys. I've always liked the bad guys because if I was a wrestler.
Is he on the Mount Rushmore?
Oh, yeah. He's the GOAT. To me, he's the GOAT heel of all time. There is not a better heel than fucking Triple H. I mean, look at everybody. Everybody fucking. I mean,
it's almost impossible to argue, honestly.
Like nobody hates that guy. I mean, everybody hates that guy, but loves him at the same time.
Yeah,
like that,
everybody hates that guy.
It's the epitome of heel. I mean, if you look up the definition of heel in the dictionary, it's going to be Triple H.
Well, we followed up that emotional moment with a match that I gave zero fucks about. RK Bro versus the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy.
I hate that name.
RK Bro
to Randy Orton. Okay, I know I don't watch WWE, but Randy Orton used to be one of my favorite.
You want to know the only thing that I watched during that match? Because I ain't gonna lie, I skipped almost all of it. Was the very beginning when they do the little the graphics on the screen for the wrestlers, and they have like Randy Orton's Viper striking at another Viper that's wearing a goofy fucking hat that's supposed to be Matt Riddle's the whole time. That was the only thing I liked about that whole match was that little graphic.
That's what I meant specifically with that match.
I didn't care about that match, man.
I didn't care about the match, but Matt Riddle he's got future. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be
he's talented, but I mean they don't use him right. He's a dipshit. They use him like a dipshit.
That's a good word, though. I mean,
well, dude, they did Kurt Angle like that for the longest, though. Remember that Kurt Angle's initial run?
Oh, Kurt Angle.
He was a dipshit in the beginning.
Love Kurt Angle.
And then and next we had Lashley versus Omos, which I didn't care much for this match neither. I did watch this one though. I didn't skip it because I figured it'd be a pretty fast match. And I heard Lashley was the first guy to knock this dude off his feet. What I will say about Omos though is he does carry himself pretty well for a big man because he's like 7'4", and he for a big guy he does pretty well. But Lashley ended up. But I mean, then Lashley beats him. Like Lashley spears him from behind and fucking pins him. So I'm like, okay, so you got this big giant motherfucker you're trying to build up, and then you make him lose at WrestleMania. Makes sense. All right, I know you loved what we have coming up next, Lawrence.
Go ahead.
First off, I'm gonna say this: Sami Zayn is a fucking jewel.
Yes,
of that company.
I'm glad you got.
So next up, we have Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. Basically, everyone in Jackass showed up.
The Jackass crew. This is what I love about WrestleMania is anyone can show up at any time, man. It's to promote their own shit.
I'll say this: usually,
it's fun.
Usually I fucking hate these goofy matches like this. But I actually loved every second of this one. It was fun.
This one, yes.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Johnny Knoxville is a character.
Yes.
There was nobody better to do this whole thing with than Sami Zayn. Because
the Wee Man body slam was awesome.
Was gold, man. That I didn't expect him to do that. Wee Man is something else, isn't he? He comes out and surprises everyone. Just fucking rolling.
I ain't gonna lie. I started laughing my ass off whenever Chris Pontius came in there and started dancing in there as fucking party boy and got Sammy in the corner and was all dancing on him. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Party boy, man. That was gold.
It was perfect Jackass. But again, another cheap pop.
It is, dude.
But it worked.
It worked. It worked.
But Knoxville ended up beating Sammy by putting him in a mousetrap. A big, giant fucking mousetrap.
And at first, it didn't work at first either.
Yeah. He had to fix it to make it work.
Couldn't get it to work.
That was a big botch, but it was fun. Whatever. WrestleMania is filled with botches.
Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of botches, we got one coming up later that was pretty bad.
Party boy could get it, Jamie said.
Jamie said she wants.
Okay, got a Chris Pontius fan.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, Jamie.
That's what's up.
Hot for party.
I feel the same way.
You know.
So on my notes here, I didn't even write down who was in this match. All I wrote is that there was a women's tag match. there was a bunch of women in it, and I didn't care about any of it, so I skipped it.
Damn.
What the fuck? Go ahead.
To any of the excellent.
The only two that was in it that were noteworthy was Sasha Banks. I think Rhea Ripley was there.
Oh,
and
somebody's saying, Dustin, what's up? Beauty and all.
I'm not sure who that. I'm not sure that it.
Yeah, me either.
Sure it is, but what's up?
Fans,
you have a fan.
Oh,
you got your first groupie, man.
Mr. Sex Appeal.
That's right.
That's right. I am.
Yeah. Did you have anything to say about that women's tag match, Lawrence? Because if not, we're going straight past it.
No, it had nothing to say. Go ahead and zoom on.
Moving on then. Next up, we had Edge versus AJ Styles. Now, I'll say Cody versus Seth was probably the best match we've had thus far as actual wrestling match, because it was really good. But this Edge versus AJ match was right there on par with it, man. It was a really fucking good match.
I'll say this, dude. Edge has been misused since he's come back from his injury, but now this match kind of redeems him because it was so good, like you said.
Well, I was confused though, because when did Edge become the Undertaker? So the Undertaker goes into the Hall of Fame, and now Edge is the Undertaker. He's coming out to like low lighting, like some purplish, bluish kind of lighting, and he's wearing some Undertaker style like fucking gear now.
Does he still have his old music?
Kind of, but
kind of.
Okay.
It's.
No, I said the same thing. Like, when does he become the Undertaker? I get the Brood thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to do a throwback to the Brood.
When he does interviews now, man, it's all dark and shit with like smoke and
Edge
purple lighting. I'm like
funny-ish when
he's being edgy.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was just waiting for the Undertaker to retire. He's like, finally, this motherfucker's gone. I can steal his gimmick. Bring that shit on right now.
Yo, Greg, you talking? Yeah, that's true. He was like the fucking Undertaker.
Yeah, Edge is the new Undertaker, so enjoy it, everybody. But Edge ended up winning that match. With I think he actually won with a roll up too, or no, he hit the spear and got a pin.
Well, Corey says Edge and AJ bored the hell out of me. They never hooked me in.
You're right, Ben. I did think I knew him. I thought I knew him. I guess I didn't, because now he's the Undertaker.
You think you know me?
He's still the Radar superstar. What else happened, Greg? Let's go ahead and.
All right. Next up was New Day versus Sheamus and some other little guy that used to be fucking. What was his name in NXT? He was good in NXT. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him now.
Oh, that was man, I forget too. But I'll say that the match.
It was Sheamus and Little Boy Blue versus New Day without Big E, because Big E's like.
Excuse me.
Well, is his name Butch or something? Butch.
Yeah, just like Butch or something. I don't know.
His name is Butch.
He needed the money.
Yeah, he used to be Pete Dunne. Now he's Butch.
Pete Dunne. Yeah, he's now he's Butch. Go ahead.
I didn't care about this match neither. I mostly skipped past it. Yep, I'm with Big T there. Pass.
How old, Greg? How old is Sheamus? Because damn, he was like wrestling when I was in like grade school, and now he's still there. Like, what is he? What is he?
That's Greg's brother.
What is he?
That's right. That's my milky white brother from another mother.
He's some something.
I did used to love whenever Cena used to say, "You look like a jar of mayonnaise."
Yeah, they keep him out the sun like 24/7. I don't know. He's like under contract to look like that, but damn.
Yeah,
he's been wrestling for like 15 years, it seems like.
All right, so next we get on to the good stuff. This is where it actually, night 2 actually started to be pretty good, minus that Sami stuff. I think the Sami stuff was like the highlight before this. But we have Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee.
What's your thoughts on that, dude? Austin Theory.
Well, you know what? I've given a lot of hate to Pat McAfee, which is surprising considering he's an Indiana boy and usually I mark out for all those. But like, I don't know. I wasn't buying into the hype, man. But then I don't know. Something happened last night, and this happened before his match. It was when he was on commentary. I'm like, you know what? I'm too hard on this guy, man. He's genuine. It's like I need to stop being such a bitch.
He is, and that's the thing about him, though, is that, and that's what why I became a fan of his, is because he is genuine. Like
it's like I told you, Dustin. I thought it was an act. I thought it was all an act. I thought he was like playing a character, but I mean, that's just who he is.
No, like if you listen to his podcast religiously, like I do, he's always been that way. Even like in the beginning when he started out at Barstool, he's just a fucking cool dude, man. Just a regular, fucking genuine good guy.
And a long time wrestling fan, so. And
been a huge wrestling dude. He said one of the first things he bought with his NFL money was a fucking wrestling ring,
which is crazy.
That's awesome.
So he ends up defeating Austin Theory. McMahon gets all pissed because his chosen one doesn't get the job done. So what happens? McMahon gets in the fucking ring and challenges Pat McAfee right there in the middle of the ring.
Yo, Vince McMahon still looks good for like fucking 90. How old is he? And he's still jacked like that.
He put on probably one of the most pathetic matches I've ever seen in my entire life.
But he did look good doing it.
Well, how about how the match ended?
Okay, so then, McMahon beats Pat McAfee first off. Let's go ahead and let's throw that out there. He pins him. But then, McMahon's like taunting him after the fact, him and Theory's in the ring. Then what do you fucking hear? You hear that. You already knew it was coming. You were just waiting on it. You heard that sound, that glass break. McMahon freaks the fuck out. Looks like he shit his pants, and here comes Stone Cold.
Dude,
and then you get that nostalgia moment, man. You get that. Yes. I did too, man, because I'm like, holy shit, 19 years, here we are again. Fucking Vince, Stone Cold in the middle of the ring. It's like turning the clock back, man. It's like we went back in time.
Oh my god!
So he comes in the ring. He makes it look like he's gonna drink a beer with Vince, and then he attempts to give Vince a stunner. But Vince is obviously too old to take a stunner now.
I wish we could show that on the show, man.
Oh my god! Yes. The worst stunner in the history of stunners. Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what you put in the group chat?
Oh, the stunner?
Somebody put it in there.
Yeah. No, I sent it in the group. Yeah. He tells the kid too hard, and then he stands up, and and Stone Cold misses his head, and they're all trying to.
It's fucking. It's fucking laughing at it.
I'll tell you this though: if you can find it on Twitter, you can find the edited version of that they're posted on Twitter, and it does not look near as bad as what actually happened. So whoever edited that did a fantastic job.
Greg, what happened? What the fuck happened?
I mean, Vince is just too old to take that shit, man. His knees are shot.
Okay,
he has to fall forward. Why did he go backwards?
But what about all the other stunners that happened after that, though?
Oh yeah, he stunned McAfee. He stunned Byron Saxton.
Yeah, which came out of nowhere.
He stunned Austin. I think Austin Theory sold that fucking stunner.
He stole it good. He stunned Austin Theory. Then Austin, like the days of old, drank like 200 beers in the ring, and
I loved the Pat McAfee sell too. That was probably my favorite moment of all. Was Stone Cold stunning everybody?
McAfee loved that shit, man. That was like a childhood dream come true.
His wife posted on Instagram them in the plane flying back, and he's got like a big bruise on his arm. And dude, he just looks, well, you can tell he's fucking high as fuck, but he also looks just like so happy, dude. Just like
happy, high, everything.
To get stunned by Stone Cold is like honor, dude. That's like God.
I mean, could you imagine being a big wrestling fan your whole life, and you play in the NFL, and then you get an opportunity to wrestle at Wrestle fucking Mania, and you've only wrestled a couple times before that?
Actually, Ben, how much would I pay to get a stunner from Austin Well, it depends on where it happened. If it happened at WrestleMania, I would pay a pretty fucking high dollar amount. I'll tell you that.
At least $1,000.
Oh yeah, easy.
I would suck some dick to do that.
Whoa.
I knew it.
You heard it first here, everybody.
Well, right here.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
It's not just me. It's
Only if it was at
Everybody's got a price.
Hey,
Lord.
only. Says lame. Lame.
All right, so let's get to it. The main event: Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar
Disappointing.
to unify
What do you
the
think?
championship matches. I enjoy. It's a typical Brock match, man. I enjoyed it. It
so-
was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was. I wasn't
WWE
expecting anything more.
It was
I've
so
done
all
that
this.
every week. Every
Yeah.
week they fought. It's the same. And they did the same thing in WrestleMania. Nothing was new about it. I didn't care for it. It could've
Sure, it
gone
was.
somewhere
Brock finally
else.
took him to Suplex City. That hadn't happened yet.
No, it was like you got all this awesome stuff that happened before the main event, and then it's like, it's kind of just like the John Cena shit that got old. It's like you got all this good shit going on, and then it's like, oh, here's Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar main event WrestleMania. Here you go, and it's like, okay, same shit we see, like Lauren said, all the time.
You want to know what they could have done
All the
to make
time.
that whole thing
Same
worth it?
spear into the barricades. Go ahead.
is they should have had Stone Cold sneak in there and give fucking Roman Reigns a stunner at the very end. Then took both the titles and held them up. There's your WrestleMania finale.
Well, dude, fucking Roman. I mean, it was like the same stuff, and it's like he won Paul Heyman in a custody match. Is that it? he used to have Paul Heyman.
Paul turned his back on Brock, but like, look, here's the thing with Paul. Paul is great, man. Paul Heyman, if you watch him on the outside, during the match, he is just gold, dude. Like everything he does is great. His reactions are so good. Yeah.
So for someone that hasn't wrestled, but Paul Heyman is really, honestly, the best heel ever.
He's definitely the best manager.
Yeah, we just got
the best heel manager. For someone that non-wrestler heel, he is the fucking best, dude.
Because he had to speak for Brock because of Brock's whiny voice.
His mic skills are, he's got some of the best.
My favorite.
No, he talks on the mic now.
Yeah, he's a little
cowboy
shit.
That was the funniest thing though. The first time he talked, because he did not talk for like weeks.
Yeah,
and
him
to have a deep, like a rough voice like this dude looks like bad, dude. Like I'm gonna fucking kill you, But it's like, you know what? At WrestleMania, whoop your ass.
You know what though, man?
Hey,
I
he's
have
from Minnesota.
I'll say this. I have the same thought every time I see Brock Lesnar come out, though. Every time I see that dude come out, whether it's UFC, WWE, it doesn't matter. When I see that dude, I'm like, this dude looks like a fucking badass, man. Like every time I see him, I'm like, this dude just looks like somebody you don't want to fuck with. Ooh, Corey has one here. That's a good point. As a manager, Heenan tops Heyman for me. So that Heenan was the Heyman before Heyman. So he basically did Paul Heyman before Paul Heyman existed. So
Paul Bearer.
So is Triple H already in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
I haven't seen any of the Hall of Fame yet, so I got to go back and watch that still. All right, I'll talk about this Big T. So I don't know if y'all watched Raw. I skimmed through it today because it was mostly trash, honestly. But there was one point whenever who was it that was in the ring when he came out? It was Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens comes out there, and then someone else comes out by the name of Ezekiel. You may know him as Elias if y'all are familiar with Elias. You remember the guy wearing the scarf, playing the guitar and shit all the time? Always comes out to the ring. He's like, hello, I'm Elias.
No.
Well, this new guy that comes out, is called Ezekiel, and he claims to be Elias's younger brother, and he looks so fucking ridiculous. He looks like whatever Vince McMahon's sexual fetish is on screen.
Let's see.
But yeah, it's bad, man.
25-17.
According to Google, Triple H is in the Hall of Fame for DX, but that's it.
Oh, so he doesn't have his own entry yet, so you're guaranteed to have that next year. Yeah. This year, Undertaker went in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason I got to go back and watch it. And the Steiner brothers. Steiner brothers went in, too. So
I saw Undertaker's speech.
Nothing finer
than Scott Steiner.
What did he say? Holler.
Big Papa Pump.
All I know is what I'm hoping for is when I go back and watch this, I just hope that Scott Steiner does some math for us. I hope he does some math for us.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, you should go on YouTube and look up like Scott Steiner news interview, because he witnesses I don't know if it's like a robbery or a shooting or something. And he's just like, yeah, I was down there. I seen that, like how he talks.
Yeah. So I saw some. I can see it now. The news interview. So I saw some little punk bitch over here.
He can do more push-ups than Triple H, can he?
He can do more push-ups than anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
He's Scott Steiner.
He's
Big Papa Pump.
What the fuck? Dan says Scott's speech was mostly about sexually abusing cows.
I mean, a lot of stuff he said didn't make sense. So.
I'll have to go back and watch it because I didn't have time in the past couple of days with my kid's birthday to fit in 2 days of WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame. Got to get out from in front of my TV at some point.
Listen to Big T, because I was wondering this too. What Scott Steiner would say at his Hall of Fame thing, and he said his brother covered the mic and basically cut him off.
I'm just glad Rick Steiner didn't go fucking barking all over the place like he fucking used to.
Oh yeah.
He always wore that fucking wrestling singlet with the fucking.
I can see it now, man. They're in college. Scott's in there banging the hell out of some hot chick. Yeah. Rick Steiner's outside the door barking like a fucking dog. And he's like, will you shut the fuck up, man?
What the fuck?
Oh, never mind. Big T says he did bark like a dog. Of course he did.
No.
Of course he did.
So what is AEW? Does AEW have a WrestleMania pay-per-view yet?
I think theirs is All In, isn't it? Isn't that their WrestleMania? Is All In.
Well,
really? Dan says, Dan, I don't even watch NXT anymore, man, because like when they just ruined it, I was like, you know what? I'm not interested anymore.
You blew it.
There was Greg. There was rumors that they were going to do like Triple H and Shane McMahon were going to start their own wrestling company. I mean, I don't know if that's true.
Triple H ain't doing shit anymore except watching his cholesterol. Okay.
Right there with you, brother. Right there with you.
Why?
I think there is some teeth to those rumors about somebody big.
Yeah. Big T said it there.
Somebody big buying
WrestleMania. Oh yeah, that's actually some pretty good stuff. Samoa Joe and AEW could be great. No, actually probably. Well, you know what? I say that. I want to say they'll use him properly, but they'll give him like a run for a week. He'll have a big match, and then there'll be no build to it, and that'll be.
So here's a perfect example. So look at what they've done with CM Punk. Okay, so CM Punk comes in and he fights he's already had 4 rivalries, and he's only been in AEW for 6 months. Damn. There's no build. There's no build to anything. He's done with MJF, right? He's pretty much done wrestling him. So what now?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. There's no build to anything. They just like Greg said, it's just they go, oh, this would be a cool match, and they throw him in there, and they make that match the first match of the night.
So my question is Big T, you're talking about the Briscoes here. So From what I've heard, like they won't bring in the Briscoes because of some shit Jay Briscoe said on Twitter, like 2 Twitter comments he made like way back in the day that were like borderline racist, I guess, or maybe they might I think one of them was like borderline, the other one was just no, it was homophobic. It was homophobic stuff. That's right, it wasn't racist. So one of them was like borderline, and the other was just like straight on homophobic. But he's apologized for him since, and it was like years ago, but they don't want to bring him in because of that. I've heard like some exec there has a problem with it. Yeah, 2012.
It's understandable, but I'll say that the Briscoes are the biggest thing in tag team. Like
the Briscoes are amazing, man. AEW needs a tag team like that.
They need them, especially after Cody Rhodes defected. This was like I said, this was a big deal. People may not realize it now, but man.
But Lawrence, as far as like characters go, because me and you have talked about this before, especially on some of the Dashing with Gregs, aren't the Briscoes kind of fucking scary? Just the way they look.
The Briscoes, dude, the Briscoes are not just like heel scary, like wrestling kayfabe scary. They're legitimately like I wouldn't want to be in the same room as them. Like the Briscoes,
like they're talking about Sandy Fork, Delaware. You're like, man, I ain't fucking going nowhere near there. Right, if these motherfuckers are there, I'm not going.
We live in the South and we think like up north are a bunch of pansies. No, the Sandy Fork, wherever these guys came from, I'm not going.
I'm not going there. Here. These dudes look rough, man.
Rough.
They look like the type that starts shooting first if you pull up on their driveway.
But Greg,
you did turn around.
You did say this. If you had to get cucked, it'd be by them, right? like there's nothing you could say.
Why would it be by anybody else?
That's what I'm saying.
You got to find the dirtiest, rawest looking dudes you can.
Who are you guys talking about?
The Briscoes for Ring of Honor.
Oh, look them up. Look them up, man. They are legitimate.
Do you know of them, Dustin?
Like scary dudes.
I think so, but I'm. Oh.
Did you look him up?
Oh.
Yeah, hold on.
I like his reaction is like, whoa.
See, that's what I'm saying. These dudes look rough, man.
There you go, Greg. Go ahead and pop that on the screen.
Yeah, these look like dudes you just don't want to be around, man. Like, especially this picture down here in the corner, the far right.
And
right there, you're like,
whatever. What about the far left? What are you talking about that top, that first, very first?
They hop on the bus. They're who you pray you don't.
Exactly. They get on the bus. You're like, please don't sit back here. Please don't sit back.
Have they shown up on AEW already?
No, that's what we were talking about. Is like there's a issue with something one of the Briscoes said back in like 2012. That was like a anti-gay comment that
they need to stop. Put the Briscoes on something.
It doesn't matter. You're on trial for something you said 20 years ago for life now. It's just the way it works.
Let it go, man.
Because people don't grow and people don't change. You fucking always stay.
What I can say is this, dude. Do you feel like wrestling is getting bigger now? Because there was a time when wrestling was like, what the fuck?
I'm just glad it's being talked about again, man. Like
right
now,
even WWE.
Now you can actually bring it up without somebody fucking coming at you. I mean, you're always gonna have that one guy, but without him coming at you and be like, that shit's fake, right?
Oh yeah.
No way they sound that way because that person would watch.
You're right. You're right.
Movies are fucking fake, right?
Everything's fake. Lots of stuff is fake.
Yeah.
Movies are fake. Watch them all the time.
Yeah,
all the time, and no one has an issue.
Be like, oh, you thought this anime was real?
It's real. It's just real shit.
I do think it was weird how everyone acted so surprised about Cody Rhodes showing up at WrestleMania. Like people didn't know that was going to happen, though.
I was just glad he was able to keep his music. I guess he has rights.
I heard
to that
different.
now.
Yeah, he owns all right. But people were acting all so
people watch the WWE
in the internet world. They're like, "Oh yeah," it's like, dude, we've even been talking about it on this podcast for fucking months now that's where he was going to show up at.
Yep, and I'm really the only like avid wrestling watcher, so. And even me, I haven't been really.
We have been saying, Greg.
Hmm.
He belongs in WWE.
He does. He just fits there, man. His character just fits.
Is he going to get a title push now? Seems like it. His speech on Raw seems like
with his speech on Raw, he's definitely going to go for it. Now, I will say, I don't think he should be the one to dethrone Roman. As a matter of fact, who do they have to dethrone Roman now? Like Brock is gone, so who takes those belts from him?
Rock.
His promo was really good, Dan. It was a good promo. It was actually one of the only things I watched of Raw.
I watched the whole thing. It was pretty good.
You watched the whole Raw?
No, the whole Cody Rhodes.
I was going to say, if you watch the whole Raw, God bless you, son.
I refuse to watch WWE.
If you went through 3 hours of that, then I you know what, hats off.
No, I can't do it.
WWE
every time I turn WWE on, I'm just like, But
here's the
when I put AEW on though, I'm like, yeah, but it's because I can get behind the wrestling on AEW.
I'm not saying this could have been a coincidence, but all I'm saying is when I had Raw on earlier, my daughter did get sick and ran to the bathroom and threw up. So
yeah, I mean that's how
it could have been a coincidence.
Nah, but Gregory, listen to this, dude. WWE maybe has shit content, but their main event stuff, like their pay-per-view stuff, is gold. Like you have.
That's the thing, man. Like, here's
Why
the
is
thing
that?
with WWE is they are the company that has the capability to put out the best stuff possible. They have that capability. They just don't do it, and I don't know why. But it is what it is. I guess they save it for WrestleMania.
Right.
So overall, WrestleMania grade, Lawrence, what would you give it this year?
A B+. I think it was good. This was a good WrestleMania.
I agree. I'd say B+ is a good grade this year.
They've had better WrestleMania.
I enjoyed almost all of it.
Yeah. I didn't have the desire to change the channel. Go ahead.
It was I was just agreeing with you guys and saying that it was very talked about on all over social media. So that's,
Yeah, Dan, that's actually usually how I keep up with WWE now is if I don't watch the pay-per-view, I'll at least read the results of it on like a wrestling site or something. And
Dan hit the nail on the head. He's right. Pay-per-views are entertaining, but TV is rough. I don't know why that is. I don't know.
I will say, man, WWE is the absolute best at packaging together like a promo for the matches. Like when they package all like of what happened before and stuff like that, it'll make you want to watch the match, even if the match sucks.
I'm telling you,
watch that match.
That's what AEW needs to work on. If they can get that aspect of it and get that shit buttoned up, then they could have a real shot at taking down WWE. But till then, I don't think they're going to be able to really compete.
So other than WrestleMania,
you're right.
I did watch a movie before we went live today because I don't know. This is what happened. All right, I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I was out doing my deliveries as I do every Monday, and I got stopped by a train. And as I always do when I get stopped by a train, I look at the graffiti as it's going by on the trains because I'm like fascinated by it. And then I remembered, I was like, you know what? I think there's a documentary about this. So I went and found it today and watched it. It's called Rolling Like Thunder. And it's about like graffiti artists. But like, what's y'all's thoughts on graffiti in general? Do you think it's like bad? Are you like fascinated by it?
Before the show went on, I said, in the 80s and 90s, it was like an art form. Like there was street cred involved. Like that was a legitimate profession.
There still is.
It still is, but it's like underground.
Yeah, like some of these dudes that were from the 70s are still doing it.
Like that's like Samurai Bushido. Like that's like a code of honor to graffiti empty trains, blank trains. You have to do that.
I find this shit more impressive, like where they like scale buildings and stuff and like tag like the top of an abandoned building or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's crazy.
They made a point with like the trains thing. Like the artists were talking about the reason they don't tag like stationary things is because the whole point of it is so it moves. and like people who may not live in that area will see it because trains will travel
everywhere
all over
across the world.
place.
Oh, yeah. Ben Grimm brought up my boy Banksy. Y'all remember him?
Oh yeah,
if you don't
Banksy.
Know, Banksy. If you don't know who he is, Google him. He's legitimate. That dude is like a eighth wonder of the world. Like this guy's art is crazy, and no one knows who he is.
What's another wonder of the world?
China. She was the ninth.
China was the ninth wonder.
That's the right answer.
I'm so fucked up now. I'm like, China? Like
I can see the look on your face. You're like, China, what the fuck?
The ninth wonder was China.
No, listen to Big T. It's like beautiful to look at as long as it's on my property. As long as it's someone else getting fucked over,
don't tag my shit.
Yeah, that's why with the train carts, it's not a big deal.
Well, they just redid it. But there used to be
something to look at while I'm stuck at a crossroads.
Exactly.
Like at a train.
Well, there's a building in New Orleans. They just redid it, but it said like caveman something across it, and they tagged that whole fucking.
Yeah.
Lawrence is fucking up.
Lawrence, you got kind of a Sami Zayn look going on tonight with the hat and the jacket. That's almost like a Sami Zayn look.
The Jack Daniels.
I'm homeless. Is that his gimmick now? He's homeless?
I can't even see Lawrence's hat because it's camouflage. Ha ha ha.
No, I think like with the way Sami Zayn looks now, he looks like somebody who was kicked out of the military, but like he won't accept it.
Right. He's just homeless. He was kicked out of the military but didn't accept it.
He like goes around and he talks all the military stuff and does everything, but he just doesn't tell anybody that he was kicked out. So
he's like in the ROTC program.
He dumps on like the military bus. Is like Semper Fi. Yeah, I did my. It's like
who are me?
He like follows them around. He tries to board with them every time, but they're like, Sammy, you're not getting on this bus. Okay, you've already been kicked out. He's like, you can't get on the bus.
Yeah, that was in Jarhead where the dude jumped on. He's like a Vietnam vet, and he's like homeless, and he's like, yeah, Marines. They're like, what? Who are you? Are you who I become? It was sad. It was a sad scene. But anyways, Sami Zayn, yeah. Remember when we first saw him, Greg? We were like, this guy's going places. We like this guy.
Yeah.
And now
we didn't understand him though.
We did.
We talked about him way back when. We're like, I like him, but I don't know what he is. And here we are today, and I still don't know what he is.
Big T. What the heck, dude? China herself was 8th wonder of the world. Man. But those meat curtains between her legs were definitely the 10th and 12th. Uh-oh.
Sami Zayn is a punk rock superstar.
Corey says Sami Zayn looks like a ginger Fidel Castro.
Now he does. Whose idea was that?
I don't know. But I don't. But that's the thing, man.
I don't hate it. I don't
hate it. Yeah, I don't hate it. I like it.
Jamie says that Banksy is currently AWOL. So back to the graffiti thing. What was your thoughts on it, Greg? Was like
the documentary was very interesting because it told me a lot of stuff that I didn't know. I didn't realize that the graffiti thing was so big, honestly, and like all the I didn't realize that there was beefs amongst the graffiti groups. Like, like they would tag over each other's stuff, and like it would cause like almost a whole
war,
kind of big like turf war or beef. War. Yeah, but it's weird because like it might be a beef that is like states apart. Like it might be between Seattle and Vancouver, but they're still going back and forth covering each other's shit because that's where the trains run.
Guys, it's all the same paint. Can we all just get along?
There's a lot of room on a train car. You think you just put it like on the same train car.
There's room for
well, like what they'll do is like for like they'll cover up one group's initials with their initials and just they keep going back and forth with it. And then they get serious about it. And they're like, yeah, these motherfuckers come around here, it's going to be more than just paint. And I'm like, damn, dude.
There was a whole movie on that called Breakin'. Remember that? It was like from the 80s. It was from the 80s. Like, graffiti is such an 80s thing that I don't even think about it. They're still doing that? Oh, man. The documentary. What's it called?
It's called Rolling Like Thunder.
Rolling Like Thunder. I need to check it out.
It's good, man. It's only like an hour and a half. It's a good watch, man.
Is it on Netflix or what'd you watch it on?
You got to watch it on Showtime.
Showtime. Did you pirate
Showtime?
Jimmy says that's correct. It's breaking.
Breaking. Yep, breaking. That's what it was.
I want to talk about something.
What you want to talk about, Dustin?
I need you to share my screen, Greg.
Okay. Well, you got to pull it up first.
Yeah.
Hold up. Go ahead, share.
It's not pulled up, Dustin.
I would have seen it.
Oh, did I stop sharing?
Yes.
Go ahead and share it so we can pull.
I'm such an old man when it comes to technical stuff.
Well, you have some beautiful blue eyes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, you ready?
Are you drunk yet?
Hold on. Are you sharing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me make sure. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get us pulled.
No, this won't get. Okay.
I want to get all of our monetization.
Did you get our audio?
I want it all.
All the money.
All the audio should be good. All right, you guys ready for this? I need you
Do it.
to watch and react to the whole video, okay?
My body is ready.
My body is ready.
Long.
Can you hear it?
Not really.
Oh, what is happening?
Share your audio, dude.
What? I don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything.
I said the words "gay pimp," and this guy is like,
Hold on.
Oh.
How do I share it?
Okay, you had to stop on gay pimp. That's kind of weird. But
Okay, how do I share the audio?
there's a little button down in the bottom left that you have to do when you do the tab.
Just
so you have to close out the tab and then redo it and then click that button at the bottom.
Okay,
Little check mark.
All right, let me
let's restart this, guys. Sorry, technical difficulties.
We're having technical difficulties.
Hey, what happened to Hayden? Is he taking a break? Hayden has his own channel now.
Yeah, he has his own channel.
Cornelius Collections, if you want to check that out.
Some pretty wild stuff.
Yeah.
He was in the chat last week.
Yep, he was here.
He was here last week. Chat with y'all.
I was forced to play Roblox with my daughter today. I made a deal with her because, we're trying to get her ready for school, right?
Uh-huh.
And she's very defiant when it comes to trying to do stuff like draw shapes and things of that nature. So we want her to be ahead of the game.
Are you saying she's stubborn?
A little bit.
I wonder where she gets that.
But so I had to make a deal with her today. I was like, look, if you draw a square 3 times, I will play Roblox with you. So I was forced.
Oh, man.
I was forced to play this game on Roblox called Brookhaven, to where she invited me to her house, then proceeded to lock me inside, and I couldn't get out. So I'm like, what the hell's going on here? She's loving it. She's absolutely loving it. She's on the outside just screaming and squealing. Like, I locked you inside. This is bullshit, man.
So what she do? So what? Anything else happened? Did she kill you, or did she drown you in the tub?
No, she just taunted me the whole time, laughing, saying, "You can't get out."
She lured you in there with the express purpose of locking you in there.
You know what's funny is that your daughter, I think your daughter kind of looks like you, but nobody else does. But your daughter is fucking you, like to the fucking T, personality wise,
which is terrifying. All right,
All
here we go.
All right, here we go. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready this time.
Here we go. And we got to go through the whole video, okay?
It's 4 minutes.
4 whole minutes.
I can hear it. I can hear it.
I can hear it.
Right?
Well, let's make it bigger here.
What she said.
I'm gonna solo in on the video here. Actually, that's fine where it's at. I don't think I want to see this bigger.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
Where'd you?
What? Why are you making me watch this?
That's what I'm wondering. Why? Why me, guy?
The guy in the glasses reminds me of Bill Hader.
You gotta Listen to the lyrics.
I like to do manly things, but
Jamie's a fan.
Lawrence, keep your hands on the table.
Yeah, put your hands where we can see them.
So Tina told me that I need to look this video up because apparently there's a whole entire gay genre of music, and this is a gay genre hit right here.
This is really bad, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and say it.
I don't understand how we still have 10 people watching. I'm going to say that right now. That should have already dropped down.
The reason why is because we're watching soccer practice, bro.
What
Wait.
the fuck? What is this?
What the hell?
It's soccer practice, bro.
This is
Is that what
soccer
that is?
practice?
Why is the quality so
Why are
good?
you smiling so big, Dustin?
Wait, this is my favorite part. Watch these guys in the background.
I'm a dirty frat boy on a dirty soccer team. Go into the locker room after wrestling.
They stereotype themselves. Look at this shit.
Helping a buddy out.
Helping a buddy out.
God.
You gotta help your buddy out.
You gotta help your buddies out.
Look at that guy.
Helping a buddy out with soccer practice.
With soccer
Good
practice.
practice.
I bet this plays at soccer games.
Oh my god, dude. What the fuck?
Lawrence won't show his face. Look, there he is. Wait,
She had to add in every gay shit in the world.
I love that he says Marines and Air Force and never says anything about the Navy with Navy guys in the back.
Yeah. Nothing is gayer than sales. If you're CB, that doesn't count. I don't count you guys as sailors.
No, that we're all gay. All the Navy guys are gay.
How much time do we have left?
But you gotta watch the whole thing, man. Hey, dude.
You are so funny, dude.
What's the grand finale? Do they all start doing the helicopter?
Who is that guy?
He's the gay pimp, bro.
Right.
He's like you, but
Yeah.
Sorry, Big T.
Most definitely.
it's soccer practice, bro.
Is that what it is?
Wait a minute,
Come on, man.
you're not talking about joining the army or soccer practice at all, are you? You're right. I'm not. All right, boys, shower up.
Why?
No one looked like Greg in that video.
Why would you do that to us?
Because I had to watch it, so
Jamie.
So you're just sharing. Because sharing is caring. That's what I teach my daughter.
look. So how this happened was I was sitting in bed and I was watching TikTok, and Tina was next to me, and we were talking about Jeffree Star. Do y'all know who Jeffree Star is?
No.
Okay, well, he was this guy, like one of these makeup people, tranny guys, whatever, and he used to do music. So I was like, oh, I need to
You're
go.
allowed to say that.
I'm sorry if I. Anyways, so he did music. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check out his music. Well, then my girlfriend's like, oh, did you know there's this whole gay genre of music on YouTube? She's like, you need to go watch this video, Soccer Practice. It's fucking hilarious. And I was like, okay. So I watched Soccer Practice video, and yeah, so I had to make sure I shared it.
Well, I appreciate that.
I appreciate it, sir. Yeah, thank you.
I
Have a
favorited it.
conversation with your lady. I just want to talk.
Jamie said she knows who Jeffree Star is. Okay,
Yeah,
so at least someone.
So apparently he used to be like a musician, and then he kind of transitioned into like what
My
he's like
World 360. It's hot.
makeup YouTube people. But he is apparently really racist and also hates gay people. So
What?
even though he's gay, so I don't know.
Let's complete the set.
So did Milo. Remember that guy Milo Panopoulos, whatever his name was? Milo.
Yeah, I mean he was banking on the right wing crowd.
Yeah, we haven't heard from him since Trump lost.
You know how many times that I see these like big Trump like on the side of the road, and all these people are buying all this. Like, man, I should buy some Trump shit and go sit on the side of the road and sell Trump stuff. Yeah. Even though I don't care about politics.
Right, and I'm just sad.
I feel sorry for Jamie because she didn't get to see him helicopter.
Sorry, but it's YouTube, so
Sorry, Jamie.
They can't get
a different panel.
Yeah, My World 360 wants us to try to guess who they are. Does anyone have any clue?
Huh?
My World. Guess who?
Yep, that's what it says.
You're loud. It's hot in here. Guess who? It sounds like Dustin's daughter. I'm just saying.
It does.
I know she's asleep. So she's at my house right now. So she's asleep.
But she
keeps bugging me about being on the show. So I guess we're gonna have to get her on the show.
I don't know who this is.
Gotta work on that grammar though.
Well, all right then, my world. We're about to wrap this up, so you have a few seconds to reveal yourself if you want to.
There we go. That's better. Appreciate it.
But until then, Lawrence, you can shout out our Patreon people here.
You said I'm not sleeping.
Indoors. Thank you, Shelby W. Thank you, Hayden Cornelius. Thank you.
Oh, I guess it is.
Orc 145626 and Jonathan Cantrell, our very own Jonathan.
Woo! It's a me.
All right. Well, Jonathan, what do we have coming up on some unsolicited laughter?
We don't have a new episode yet, but it'll be coming soon.
All right.
Where
can they find you at?
Haley wants shout out.
Sorry. What? Jonathan. No shout out for you. Apple Podcasts, just about anywhere you can get your podcast. Anywhere that's important enough to get it, that's where you can find it.
Well, I'll give Haley a shout out because I believe her avatar says no bitches, and I like it.
She's talking long.
So there we go.
That's the same thing. Look, she looks like her mama, but that kid is me through and through. Personality-wise.
Terrifying.
All right, then. Check out the links in the description if you want to give us some Patreon love. The link is there for that. Also, the link to our merch store. Link to Jonathan's podcast. Dustin's Instagram, and not your Instagram, but your TikTok. And Lawrence, what about you, man? When are you going to put out some more Only Bat Fan stuff?
We will be doing a secondary Batman review because I feel like we need to see that again, Greg. We did initial review.
So that's what we're going to do then. We're going to watch it again and then do another review.
And see a review on it.
Are you guys going to actually watch it together? Is that what
we might
see how bad it is?
Jonathan may be onto something.
That's what we'll do here. So, your daughter says don't follow you, by the way. But that's what we'll do. So, sometime in the future here, we'll do that. We'll rewatch it, and we'll do another trio review of that. And meet you and Jonathan, Dustin too, if he wants to join in, if he has seen it by then, which I doubt.
Nope, I'm probably not going to see it till it comes out.
It'll be on Netflix by the time you see it.
I don't really have time for stuff right now. I'm transitioning.
It was an anomaly that I saw it. So,
well, all right then. That's all I got. So until next time.
Slack off.